There's a song that goes, "When you feel me," I didn't know that song.
No, finish it. Let me know.
I don't even know how to sing.
That's all.
That's all.
Try again. Let me see. Maybe I'll get the tune.
Let's end here.
Oh, what I remember is hand on me, hand on me, hand on me, my dear, hand on me.
Maybe you can do a remix.
Okay, sir.
You can do a remix.
Yes, sir.
Hey, now they did that.
Yes, sir.
Ogbojibo. Now they did that.
See, I'm learning from you. You went back. You went to rest and came back with a boy. Hey. How are you?
The waterway is choked, so we just need some extension, you know.
Wow.
I'm good yourself.
I am
Yesterday, well. we saw the inauguration of the new era.
Yeah, we witnessed it. Yeah.
President John Dramani Mahama, and so now Nana Akufo-Addo is now former president.
A lot can happen in a day.
Yeah, a lot is happening in a day, especially when Mahama was even on the days speaking to the nation, and just there and then was referring to Dr. Bawumia as the former vice president. How time flies within that short space of time. It was just a second in between.
Once the swearing in was done, they became formers.
Yeah. Oh, time changes. So, but it was a colorful ceremony yesterday, and of course, those from the legal setting were not left out, of course, and we saw from the Black Star Square, or if you want to call it the Independence Square, how colorful it was, and the role played by the Lady Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, Justice Gertrude Saki Tokonu, and then the Judicial Secretary, Justice Pamela Sarah Corantin. It was also there, and of course, justices of the Supreme Court and some from the Court of Appeal justices were all present. In fact, if you see, they also added to the color, and the focus of their appearance was the wig that they were wearing. You note that the one that the Chief Justice was wearing, but that's the ceremonial wig. When it comes to court, you don't see that one. The one that the Judicial Secretary was on is the one that most often you see the lawyers and then the judges put on in court when they are adjudicating on matters. So when it comes to that ceremony, of course, Justice Paul Bafuboni was there, Justice Gabriel Parman was there, Justice Amadou Omoro Tanko, Justice Emmanuel Yoli Kolendi, all of them, Justice Samuel Esiedu, Justice Enes Gawu, Justice Yauda Kwasari, Professor Rita Mensah Bonsu, all of them were there. And then the Court of Appeal, you have the president of all the Court of Appeal justices in Ghana, Justice Senor Jamefe was there, and in fact the Judicial Secretary, like I mentioned, is also a justice of the Court of Appeal. She was also present there, and a host of others. In fact, they all added to that colorful ceremony. So you note the role that the Chief Justice played swearing in. And what was so amazing was the fact that the Chief Justice is a female, and she was swearing in the Vice President, who is also a female. And so history was made yesterday. Remember that even in the history of things, with the scheme of things, not all the Chief Justices also have time or had the opportunity to swear in president-elect and all that. So at situations like that and moments like that, it become an honor. It's a privilege to some of them. I think it was Justice Enini Yeboah, all the Chief Justices that we have had. If you look at the last four, including Justice Gertrude Saki Tokonu, we had Justice Georgina Theodora Wood, appointed by
Sophia.
Yeah, absolutely. Sophia Akufo, Enini Yeboah. Then we have, so it is Georgina Wood who had your honor to swear in president-elect. I'm not sure Sophia had the opportunity. She didn't. No. Yes. Enini Yeboah also had the opportunity. And then Justice Gertrude Saki Tokonu also taking her turn yesterday. And so it was one of the things that is worth pointing out on Legal Matter this morning, that a lot of things really happened. But of course, there are a lot of people also who are expecting so much in the legal settings and all that. But in the coming days, you know that a new government certainly will come with a new legal advisor to the state, a new attorney general, and all that. So that in the coming days, we know who will be manning that particular sector and all that. But in all of this that I'm talking to you, mentioning the point about the Chief Justice, the role that she played, and all that. Just a day before, you notice that sometime on the 18th of December, there was a petition from Professor Stephen Kweku Asari.
Yes.
A.K.A. Is it Kweku Azar or Professor
So
Azar?
Kweku Asari, that's his actual name.
Yes.
Azar is what is known by popularly.
Absolutely.
Yes.
He sent a petition to the president, asking the president to remove the Lady Chief Justice. And the point that he made two key points for stated misbehavior, and then the other one has to do with the incompetence. And so we review that petition at some point in time, for those who remember, on this very segment, and we spoke about it. And then a day before the president exit office, he's come out with a response of that petition. In fact, the long and short of that request was that the president is saying that there's no merit and that petition, and saying has been dismissed. But let me walk you through that particular response that has come out from the presidency at the time that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government was wrapping up. And then it is dated 6th January 2025, and then on the 7th, he's out of office. And this is what the petition, the response from the presidency stated. Communication Directorate, Jubilee House, Accra, and it states that for immediate release, President Akufo-Addo dismisses petition against Chief Justice. And today, as at the time, as I talk to you now, we know that he is a former president. But this was one of the last actions that he performed as president before he exited. And I read what is contained in that particular statement, and it went to the effect that, look, the office of the president wishes to inform the general public that after a thorough and careful review of the petition for the removal of the Chief Justice, Justice Gertrude Saki Tokonu, the president of the republic at the time, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in consultation with the Council of State, has concluded that the petition does not disclose a prima facie case warranting further action. So prima facie here means that there's nothing on the face of the petition brought to the presidency that warrants that the CJ or a committee be set up to investigate the petition. So on the face of it, no evidence has been adduced. And it went on to say the petition was submitted by Professor Stephen Kweku Azar, like we mentioned earlier, citing allegations of misbehavior and incompetence against the Chief Justice. And so they reviewed the petition, and then one thing that the president made certain was that if you look at the whole petition, it was over 100 pages, I think 119 paragraph
Says there was
petition.
lack of evidence.
Absolutely. What the president said was that it observes some few things, and these were the key things that the president observed. In fact, it said that the president observed several deficiencies in the petition. A few of them are, the first one, he mentioned two. And then the first is the petition was submitted without supporting evidence. So clearly saying that there's no prima facie evidence to show, no documentation or documentation to substantiate the claims. The allegations, including claims of panel reconstitution, assurance, in the petition, the case of Dr. Stephen Kobdon-Puni was mentioned, the matter between Okuyetua Blankwa and then Professor Reverend Kusi was also mentioned, and all of that. So the president has a direct response to that. So issuance of practice directions and the purported constitutional breaches by the Chief Justice were found to be unsupported by evidence, and the petitioner failed to demonstrate any factual basis or provide credible documentations to substantiate that claim. So that's the first observation that the president made of the petition. The second one is the effect that the processes and practices cited by the petitioner. He notes that in that petition he made references to a lot of things, such as the Chief Justice administrative responsibility under the Court Act. The president said they found that to be consistent with the law and established processes. But listen to this one. This is what is very interesting about the response from the petition, from the president in relation to Dr. Professor Kweku Azar's, Professor Stephen Kweku Azar's petition. And the president said that, look, the president feels constrained to observe that, one, contrary to constitutional provision, the petition was prematurely circulated in the public domain. So when you file a petition, it shouldn't come out. It should stay with the presidency until all related activities or is assessed and the decision taken before, or the president refer it to the appropriate bodies to deal with it. So the president made that point clear that it was prematurely circulated in the public domain and in breach of Article 1468 of the 1992 Constitution, which mandates the proceedings of this nature to be held in camera. And in camera means in chambers or out of the public view, to protect the integrity of the judiciary. And he said that such a violation undermines the solemnity of the process and the principles enshrined in the Constitution to safeguard the independence, judicial independence. I beg your pardon. The president is unhappy. You heard I said the president is unhappy to observe such a violation should have been occasioned by a lawyer. You know, Professor Kweku Asare is a lawyer, so the president is saying that he should have known better that once you file a petition of this nature, you don't put it out in the public domain. And then he went on to say that based on these findings and observations, and in alignment with the recommendations of the Council of State, the petition is deemed frivolous, vexatious, and unmeritorious. Three things: frivolous, vexatious, and unmeritorious. It's a word that the lawyers love using, and even the judges love using it when they are moving, the other moving an application or the other making a ruling on the matter before them. So, in effect, what this whole petition is that the President Akufo-Addo reaffirms this unalloyed commitment to the independence and the integrity of judiciary, which remains a cornerstone of Ghana's democracy. And it concluded by saying that the office of the president at the time cautions against attempts to undermine judicial independence through baseless allegations and emphasizes the importance of adhering to the constitutional provisions in addressing grievances. And this was signed by Eugene Ahin, Director of Communications Office of the President at the time. But as at the time that I am reading these responses to you, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is now a former president. At the time that this statement was issued, he was wrapping up his term of office. So that has been, so the petition against the Chief Justice has been cleared by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo before leaving office. So these are some of the things that we wanted to share with you, because the inauguration has covered a lot of these things that came out at the last minutes of Nana Akufo-Addo's government. So now they few of them. But I must also put on record that all holidays, all rest period are over. The courts are back. They're back, and all the notable cases, the big cases that we used to tell you about, all of them, you start hearing from them. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Mutala Inusa, our legal affairs correspondent, filling us in on what has been happening in the legal space. Yes,
we had a task from Mutala. He's not fulfilled that task. He's going to tell our cases that he will not hear of again. With the expiration of the tenure of Nana Akufo-Addo. So all the political cases, for instance, Dr. Kinsella Tufosin referenced his case, his prosecution,
absolutely,
in his closing remarks.
But that isn't it too early yet to be
that case,
talking about cases that will not be continued?
Yeah, so
I started doing this last
I'm saying.
Yeah, no, asking.
That
I'm telling you that.
What if they continue the cases?
So history is our best teacher. You know that, right?
Dear.
It's a case that there are cases that we know.
Yeah.
And from the NDC side,
These are
all
political
along,
cases.
political cases all along, they made the point that their members are being persecuted.
Yeah.
And you not jump the gun to say that once they are in power now, those cases will be subject to review. A case in point is the Saglemi affordable housing case.
Yeah.
And the last court sitting when we went to court, it was at the time that the elections had been held, and we know that the NDC had won the election. One of the things that Justice Ernesto Usudabad indicated, well, now a prosecution, maybe by the time we come back for this case, maybe you come and advise the court whether you want to continue with the case or you want to file a nolle prosequa. So, of course, like you mentioned, there are a lot of cases in court that you would definitely will know that some of them will be reviewed and some of them will be discontinued along the way because of the manner in which they were treated. And of course, a case of this Cocoa Board one, Dr. Stephen Kwabena Opuni Seidu Agongo, is one case that the NDC at the time when opposition indicated that Dr. Opuni is being persecuted, and we know what has happened through all of that. It was one of the cases that Professor Sari cited in the petition to the president at the time. The case of Saglemi, the one that I have just mentioned to you, the ambulance one, the Attorney General filed an appeal at the Supreme Court to challenge the Court of Appeal decision to have the Court of Appeal decision reversed, and that one you could rest assured that it will not suffice. So these are some of the few cases that politically are in court that you expect that the action will be taken based on the fact that the party in opposition at the time indicated clearly that their members were being hounded. So we will live to see what will become of those cases. But of course, as political as they are, those who are like I even mentioned, there are a lot of people who may be thinking that, oh, these cases will not continue again. But of course, maybe they will allow the cases to continue till the end, and at the end, they are being determined on its own merit. And who wouldn't want his name to be cleared using the judicial process?
And the appropriate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but all prosecutions are done on behalf of the president.
By the Attorney General.
By the Attorney General. Thank you.
Oh, that one is clear.
That's all that I have to add.
So, nobody else.
So the same Attorney General.
The interesting thing now is that it is the same Attorney General who now be prosecuting its own members.
Exactly. And then this is the same Attorney General who was in court when it was yesterday, arguing copiously, vehemently and forcefully.
So now
the innocence of the same people that you expect him to go and prosecute.
So there are a lot of cases that will be reviewed.
But there are lessons to be drawn here. See, if you have a watertight case and your evidence is there and you are in power as a political party, make sure that they say the wheel of justice grinds slowly, but it doesn't take 8 years. That wheel, regardless of how slow it grinds, right? So present your case. Make sure that it's watertight, and then get a conclusion.
Oh yes, I've seen the situations whereby the court will be telling state
timelines.
attorneys that you can't just come to court and file cases, bring accused persons before me, and you are not ready.
Yeah.
It is yours to put before, arraign people, charge people, but it is also my duty to man the court. If you are not ready, don't come. So there were times that the judge would even threaten to strike out the case. If you are ready, come. If you are not ready, you can't come and waste my time in court and all that.
The Chief Justice one you spoke about, I was just trying to make reference to the Constitution. And for instance, where is it?
Article
We'll talk about putting together a committee made up of two justices of them.
So let's look at, is it, where, I think I've just left my eyes. Never mind. So where the petition for the removal of the Chief Justice, the President shall, acting in consultation with the Council of State, appoint a committee consisting of 2 justices of the Supreme Court, one of whom shall be appointed chairman by the President, and 3 other persons who are not members of the Council of State, nor members of Parliament or lawyers. The committee appointed under Clause 6 of the Article of this article shall inquire into the petition and recommend to the president whether the Chief Justice ought to be removed from office. All proceedings under this article shall be held in camera, and the justice or chairman against whom the petition is made is entitled to be heard in his defense by himself or by a lawyer or other experts of his choice.
Absolutely.
The president shall, in each case, act in accordance with the recommendation of the committee. Where the petition has been referred to a committee under this article, the president may, 1, in case of the Chief Justice acting in accordance with the advice of the Council of State by warrant signed by him, suspend the Chief Justice. In the case of any other justice of the Superior Court or of a chairman of a regional tribunal acting in accordance with advice of the Judicial Council, suspend that justice or that chairman of a regional tribunal. So,
I mean, what is key?
Yeah.
So what is key is that the president is saying that the content of the petition has not invoked or doesn't establish any evidence for which reading it should be.
Prima facie, it doesn't lie in the mouth of the
But
president to
doesn't
determine
require
prima facie.
No, the president will have to look at it.
No, the constitution doesn't give that luxury.
The president will have receives it, look at it together with the Council of State and say that, look, is there anything that will warrant a committee to look into it? If yes, then they refer, then the committee comes in.
If that's what the Council of State did. So in my engagement with Samuel Okuyetu, a senior, he mentions that they had taken a look at it. And of course, the advice to the president is that this is needless.
Absolutely.
It's unnecessary.
So that is why they have.
Right.
They have
Yes. And so in the president's communication to us, that should have reflected
That it's in consultation with the Council of State.
that the Council of State took a look at it and came to the firm conclusion that A, B, C, D.
It was baseless.
Nonetheless, even with the EC chairperson, when it happened the last time, the president had mentioned that he's a conveyor belt.
Yes.
You get it? So that's where the challenge is.
You can't pick and choose.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
So it's quite interesting. So it's all about when the presidency receives, and I think that okay, there's something to be investigated, then appropriate bodies are notified. But at this particular point in time, the president at the time was of the view that no, it doesn't even warrant that a committee be put in place and all that. So it was dismissed on the basis of that. So that's how interesting the whole situation. So she made sure that the Chief Justice have the mind to work. But Professor Asari is saying that it won't end there. There was no indication that it won't end.
Yeah. But you see, let me tell you something. That's unwritten. And it's something that we all have to address as a nation. The perception that some institutions favor parties in power. And sometimes it doesn't matter the noise that has been made about the appointment to those portfolios, right? Immediately, power changes hands, allegiance switches. And that is the problem. It must not be. No, honestly, it must not be.
The state must function as a state.
Exactly.
So that is
because you might a case might come, right? The ones whose appointment or nomination was generated a lot of controversy and opposition from the NDC shouting, a case will come and then the person will tilt towards the favor of the governing party. And we're like, hey.
That is why it's raising a lot of eyebrows. The laws are there. Follow the laws.
Yes.
I use myself as an example. You know that I coach small at. So sometimes when when we are playing match with the other
gota to
gota, what's good, and then I'll decide to be a referee at a point in time. And at a point in time, the other side will think that because it is my team, so I'll be biased.
Yeah.
The level of officiating, the next time when they are going to play a match and they'll be asking, come and officiate for us.
Yeah.
And sometimes my own team member will be accusing me of cheating them. I said, no, it's a foul.
Yes, of course.
If they score you, they score you. It doesn't mean that because I'm the referee, so I should just twist the arms of the other team so that you have victory. It won't work. It's about how you watch it and how you decide on. Like yesterday we're having a conversation. It's about allowing the parties to make their case and you make a determination based on what the law is. I was making reference to the judge that handled the mandamus application last time, and the first judge that dealt with the issue when the NDC went to the Supreme Court. There's a clear thing that you can actually establish here. You look at the first judge, look at somebody who was so uncomfortable and was so angry already with one party. Yeah, I will hear you, and it's a stand. But this second judge is saying that, look, this is my court. And whatever way you want to handle your case, deal with it. At the end, I take my decision.
That's the point.
As long as it is within the law, do it. And so all the parties, there's no tension. The court was fun to be. And all the parties were arguing their cases, giving them direction. At the end, it make a ruling.
Same. That's not different from the first one. The only difference is that the first one decided to
absolutely. So it was
circumvent the process.
Body language and the way you handle things, and then you make now you don't like me. As you mean, I'm talking, IB is talking, and all the time when I want to make a point, you turn my mic off. Yeah. There's no way you are giving me justice.
Because now, with the case in point, right? I want us to take a step back and really briefly look at this. So there's a coalition going on, right? There's a disruption. The law the CI allows that if you have about 70% of the polling station figures, you are allowed to declare winner whenever there's a challenge. And that is done. But then for some reason, the outstanding polling stations coming. And the EC is well clear in its mind that the outstanding polling stations are in and these are legitimate results. Now, you want to tell us that the EC, under normal circumstances, shouldn't say that I want to add everything. Now that I have a full complement of the result, I want to add everything and declare. No. But it's because of the EC's own doings, past dealings, past comments. That's why we are here. So, Techiman South, okay, is that the case? No problem. You know what? All of you come to the table. Bring the polling station results. Oh, Martin Ajay Sakosa, you legitimately won. NDC, you have seen the pink sheet. We did everything. Martin Ajay Sakosa legitimately won the 2020 elections, right? And so, therefore, he is declared winner. Oh, really? NDC, we agree we will go to court. Because eventually they went to court anyway. You have absolved yourself of any blame. But once that didn't happen, others are saying that why should that happen this time around? Because listen to the judge. The judge says, if care is not taken, all that it will take in 2028 is that let's disrupt the collation and declaration of all the results. And it can easily be done by the politicians. Yeah. Did we go or did we come?
Come go. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. I'll go for a break. When I return, we'll talk about energy. It's the morning side on Star 103.5 FM.